Good evening, my fellow gamers. Welcome to another episode of the SaltiestGaming podcast. I'd like to thank everybody that showed up in chat bright and early. We got some music playing in the background. I don't know what's going on here. First of all, we'd like to give some shout outs to all the early birds here. I got Timothy Dixon as usual. What else do we have? The Indie Gamer, Jack Shit. Big 2416. Thanks for being here early. Let me find out where this music's going from. I apologize.
That might have been
with our intro here. What's up?
I think I got that taken care of. I think that was me.
You hear the guitar
Should be
solo
gone.
in the background?
Should be gone now, right?
I don't hear nothing.
I don't hear any music.
Alright, let's start off with Titan Drago. How's it going, buddy?
Oh, it's going good here on Thursday nights. Always good on a Thursday. Super excited. Good topics. And got So Shady here. He's, and we've yet to team up, Shady, on the Blackout. Yeah, right? We got to do that sometime soon, buddy. Maybe after the show.
That Blackout, man, it is amazing, except for when you play quads and it runs at 4 frames a second. That's not
Oh, no.
Yeah.
We were playing that, what was it, 2 nights ago? And my God, I felt like I was going to have a seizure because the frame rate, the drops, the stuttering, it is really bad when you play in quads for some reason. If you play in duos and in the other, like solo, it's not bad at all. They're trying to work it out right now, but that's one of the topics, and we'll discuss it later. But yeah, it's one of my favorite games right now. Definitely enjoy playing it. Next up, we got SaltiestGaming. How's it going, man?
Man, this week has gone especially great for me, for everyone who saw on Twitter.
Yeah.
Got that free Red Dead Redemption Ultimate Edition. $100 I don't have to spend now. So shout out to Butch Irvan Cassidy, or Mr. Midlife Crisis, dude. Appreciate that code, and Mel for doing the giveaway. So yeah, my week has been fantastic, dude. I can't sum it up any better. Everyone's giving me shit for winning it, but it's
Hey, man, get this dude out the panel.
Yeah, just quit rubbing it in our face already,
Get this
man.
man out the panel.
So
I got that Red Dead Redemption. Thank y'all. Fuck the rest of y'all, though.
This is the last time you can mention this, punk, okay? No more.
Hey, like we're talking pregame, man. If you're gonna win any game of this generation, goddamn, like that's just phenomenal. Besides that, man, everything's been good. I also played some Blackout. I played with Mooch the other night. Same thing, 4 frames per second. I might have hit 3 possibly. We were diving in. I think we died like our first, like just bad jumping in, like probably like 5 times in a row. Had to restart, and then we finally got it going. We still lost, but we got to like 3rd place. So I mean, at least the wait was worth it. But besides that, man, it's been good, man. Happy to be here.
It's funny how people are trying to say, oh, see, Treyarch and Activision, they just money hungry. They rush this game mode out and it runs like shit. It's like, and they're trying to justify the way PUBG's been running for the last year and a half or whatever it's been. And it's like, well, just give them a little bit of time. Give them, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month maybe. This shit's all going to be ironed out. It's going to be a thing of the past. This is going to be their baby, so they're going to make sure it runs good,
Yeah, so people are acting like a game-on-game preview for like a year now is the same as a game, and it's like opening week or two. Like, come on, man, come on.
Hey, shout out to Mooch and Crap for sending all their awesome viewers over this way. Italian Clowns, Crazy Greek Dude, Vladdy. We appreciate all you guys. Thanks for being here. You guys are awesome. Next up, we got Nintendo Direct. What have you been up to, man? We had a nice little conversation earlier. That was
Yes,
awesome.
we did.
Yeah.
Yes, we did. It was fun. It was a lot of fun. Yeah, me and Salty had a conversation on my channel, live show, talking just about being content creators and what it's like, and what we like and what we don't like and stuff like that. It was pretty fun. It was a good little break from just we talked games a little bit, but it was a good break from just talking straight games. It was great. And yeah, I'm doing good, man. I'm glad to be here. I missed last week, but I'm here tonight, and that's all that matters. And I can't wait to get into these topics.
It's funny because people ask me, because it's Thursday. I got 2 football teams playing tonight. I got the Sun Devils playing tonight, and I got the Cardinals playing tonight. My Cardinals suck, and ASU always sucks. So I'm gonna tell you guys right now, I'm not cheating. I'm not looking over at the game. You guys got my full attention, all right? I thought about it. I thought I was gonna do picture on my computer, but I held back. I'm not gonna do that. Okay. They'll probably lose anyway, so I'll save myself the crying. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, how are you holding that salt from the loss to the Vikings?
We won't talk. Where's the mute button? Where's the mute button? Hold up with me. Yeah, Titans.
Had to rub that in a little
Titans
more.
Team beat my team. Blah blah blah. We suck, right?
Trolled the game, not beat. We trolled you, man.
True.
It's like you're our little puppet. We're your puppet master on that game, man.
We'll see how you guys do in the playoffs if you guys get there, because we ain't going there. We ain't going there. Playoffs. Hashtag sports.
Hashtag sports.
Yeah. Last but not least, we got our special guest. I've been trying to get this guy on. He's elusive, just like his avatar. So shady. What's going on, my dude?
Oh, man, everything is going on as always, my dude. I was enjoying some of the freshly legalized devil's lettuce up here in Canada the other night when I glanced up in the sky, saw the salt signal. I'm here to answer the call, boys. Let's get her done.
Awesome.
So where'd you get your first legalized? Where'd you buy it first at?
From an illegal source. There's the lineups are way too big. I got my guys. I'm sticking with it.
He's like, I'm not gonna give into the industry. I got their back. That's right.
To the man.
No, I'm actually gonna be setting up shop and growing my own good stuff, man. I'm gonna be rolling in pounds, baby.
Awesome.
Hashtag devil's lettuce.
That's actually one of the topics we're gonna be talking about today on the Saltiest Gaming podcast. We like to keep it different, as we can say. It's kind of a gaming topic. A lot of people use weed when they play games, so stay tuned for that. But before we do that topic, let's get your gaming background. So shady, the listeners want to know, where did you start, and where, up to where you are now, and how did you get introduced into this community?
I have been gaming since way back in the 1900s, like many people have in this community. Actually, my first console I got my hands on was the Coleco and the Intellivision. My grandpa had the Intellivision and my dad had the Coleco. And I was playing like Mousetrap and Zaxxon and Smurfs and Oil's Well and Pit Trap and Burger Time. And that's what got me in. It wasn't long after that when I got an NES, and it was on from there. Like, I knew at that age that like gaming was for me. It was just, it resonated so hard, and I was really good at it, like really quick. So that helped as well. And then from the Nintendo, I got a Super Nintendo. I had a Genesis. I was really lucky. I was a big time multi-console owner and player for a very long time, all the way up until, well, Xbox released. I had PlayStation 1, the Dreamcast, the Saturn, the N64, the Cube, the PlayStation 1, the 2, if I already said that, sorry. Many games. Like, I rented a lot of games as well back in the Blockbuster days. That kind of ages some people.
Heck yeah, Blockbuster.
It was amazing, man. It let people, I was a kid. I wasn't made of money. It let me play everything without having to own it all. So I miss those days, man. I miss being able to rent a couple games that I don't want to shell out the big bucks for. And once that Xbox dropped, and to be honest, I remember when Microsoft first announced that they were getting into the industry, I was upset, very upset. Like, how dare you bring your fucking billions in here and just think you're gonna, make good games? I was very protective of what I enjoyed doing for my whole life as my number one hobby. That some just big money company was gonna come in and just think they could, take it over. So I was very anti-Xbox at the beginning, but always aware of this Halo game. I remember flipping through the magazines at the time and just seeing the screenshots and reading the hands-on of Halo. And it just, I needed it. So the very first price drop that happened on that Xbox, I threw one onto my credit card, my electronics credit card there, came home, played Halo, and that was it, man. I was an Xbox guy from then on. I've still had PlayStation 3 and the 4 and the Switch and the Wii and the Wii U, but 99.9% of my time is as an Xbox gamer, and I play damn near everything but sports.
That's awesome. So you lost that kind of stigma when it came to your thought process against Microsoft and the big corporation due to the Halo situation and the games there. It kind of got you to forget the situation there. But I think there's a lot of people out there that still have that thought process when it comes to Xbox, when it comes to Microsoft, and I think a lot of the hate stems from that.
I think so too.
The bigger corporation. It's interesting to hear that you were in that situation. You kind of went away from it, like in the.
I remember being so mad when I heard that Microsoft was going to come in and just do what they wanted to do. I was just so against it. I didn't like the idea at all because they had no pedigree for it. And just being a, jaded young gamer at the time, I wasn't willing to give them a shot for, about a year or so, not even until that first price drop kind of came. But I find I've changed huge. Like, I'm a gamer at the end of the day. I want to play games. Hearing something like Google or Amazon maybe trying to get in, I'm excited. It's like, oh, those guys have a ton of money, and I love to see them spend it on a hobby that I enjoy. Like, I've evolved since then. I don't put a lot of pressure or importance on like exclusives and stuff. That doesn't make my gaming any more fun at all. If anything, you just hear guys either prop something up unfairly or bash it unfairly. It's hard to get like a legit opinion on an exclusive game these days. So I'm almost not a fan of that moniker.
Yeah, and I remember you getting crap and other people getting crap for, saying that. It's like, how can you say that, you don't want exclusives on your consoles? Like, well, how are these consoles going to sell? It's like, well, not everybody has that same thought process and idea. And, the unfortunate side to social media kind of is that sheep mentality. It's like, well, if you have a thought outside the general consensus, then you need to be shamed and bashed and all this other good stuff. And I know a lot of times when you were in chats for these podcasts before you started doing podcasts, you would speak your mind freely, not worrying about what others people think. And that touches close to home for me because that's the way I live my life. I'm not really worried about how much I trigger you. That's one of the reasons why it's called SaltiestGaming, and I'm King Salt, because I have enough salt to go around. You know what I'm saying? I'm not worried about stepping on people's toes a lot of times. It's about being real. It's about giving what you think, and when you think it, to the most part, you don't want to, go too far, but I appreciate that, man. I'm glad you could be part of the show. It's going to be an awesome time. We got some awesome topics tonight. I think we're going to start off with this off-the-wall topic because it's interesting. I think it's very interesting myself because I'm a proponent for it. Legalization of weed occurred in Canada. We got a lot of people up in Canada that are gaming brothers. I've heard from them. They talked about it. They're happy. Everybody was lighting up yesterday. You were there firsthand. Let's talk about this. This is a topic that Titan wanted to discuss. I know it's kind of off the walls when it comes to gaming, but like I said before, there's a large population of people that partake in this and that are gamers, so it is a gaming topic per se, if you kind of want to go off a little bit off there. So let's talk about it.
Cool.
Let's talk about
it.
Yeah.
For those that maybe didn't know, it is now federally within the law. Anyone over 18 up in Canada can just go and buy some cannabis products and use them freely. Like, it's kind of like alcohol. You're not supposed to be driving while using it, just after using it. There's designated areas in some cities. Like, each province up here has certain rules. It's bizarre, as even though it's legal, it's still being treated as this weird semi-illegal product. Everyone's terrified that it's going to be the apocalypse, and that because it was illegal, nobody used it. And now that it's legal, everyone in the world is going to be in there smoking their faces off, getting destroyed, and wrecking the planet in the process. Like, we're going up against basically just decades and decades of anti-propaganda about this type of stuff. And I bought into that for the first 20 years of my life. I was very outspoken anti-drug. I never touched the stuff until I got out of high school and was just hanging around with some guys that they were doing it, and I didn't see in them what I saw in the propaganda that I was exposed to for my life. So I kind of was like, hey, why not? I tried it, and I enjoyed it. I had a good time, and I've been using it ever since. I find that it makes everything better for me. I got nothing really bad to say about it other than the fact that it was illegal and it was expensive. It still is expensive if you buy it, but I plan on growing it. We're allowed to do that, so that'll be fantastic. But as far as gaming goes, there certainly are a lot of people out there that enjoy partaking in the substance while they game. I know I certainly do, and I'm convinced it's almost, even the esports, they consider it a performance-enhancing drug. you smoke a joint before you go out there, you're taking names, you're winning matches. I mean, I don't know. I guess I'm really glad that it is. I don't have to be considered a criminal by other people or the law, especially by just doing something that I've been doing for almost 20 years in the privacy of my home.
So
and that's another part topic. It's like nobody really talks about the legal drugs that gamers use. It's not even fair if you're on like focus enhancing drugs that are legal, and it's like, and I'm sitting here getting smart. I'm not in my prime anymore. I don't have as good reaction time as I used to. And it's like, can I get a blood test on the controller? I can grab the controller and it pricks your finger or something. Obviously I'm kidding, but I mean it's still crap. But you know what? As far as this weed thing goes, it's like I've never had a gamer friend that plays better on weed. And I've heard many claims, but I've yet to see it personally because I mean, are you guys on the same boat as me as this? Because I'm like, man, you suck on weed, man.
Yeah.
I mean,
what happened to my friend?
It depends on how long they've been on it, like I think it's just a status quo for some people, so
that is the thing. There is a tolerance thing for sure. In my early days, I just got a little taste of that stuff and I was a lunatic, like just maniac. And today, 20 years later, my tolerance is huge. I'll outsmoke anybody. Literally, I'll kill Snoop Dogg in a smoking contest. But it's not for, I'm not a pusher. It's not for everybody, right? My big message is just don't buy into all the propaganda that has been going on for 70 years. It's not what you think it is. And up here, you're at least legally allowed to give it a shot and see if it's for you. And I think that's a great move.
Go ahead. Sorry about that. The reason why I brought this topic up is because a lot of people use gaming as an outlet, right, to the stress of life. It's an outlet. It's a way to decompress from what is going on in life. And I feel like there's a huge problem when it comes to narcotics in the country. I don't want to get into that topic right now. But a lot of the times people are using these drugs that are quote unquote acceptable. And then, the natural thing, the weed thing gets kind of stigmatized, because it's been that way for so long. And I just have a lot of friends that use it and don't abuse it, and it helps their lives. And they're gamers, so I thought it was just a perfect topic to talk about. So
it is. I mean, I was only really touching on the fact that I enjoy it and playing games, haha. Mm-hmm. But the reality is that it is a medicine to a lot of people with varying degrees of illness or pains and aches. It helps me immensely with my sleep and my appetite, and does help with like my back or if I get really bad headaches. Stuff like that. Like it's more than just someone looking to have a good time for a lot of people out there. And I think that needs to be kind of said as well. Not everyone's quote unquote just getting high. Yeah. It really does help people in a lot of ways.
I've had a lot of debates with my buddy Whiskey Mike about this topic, about weed and its legalization and stuff, and whether or not America's going to adopt it, which I got to admit, like, it looks like I'm wrong, because if Canada's going to do it, I imagine USA won't be too far behind.
Are you so sure?
I don't know. I'm very, like, I don't know a lot about this. So, like, I've never done any drug in my life, and whatsoever. So I'm very out of the box on this. So I'm really wondering what, like, Punk and Salty and Nick's got to say. Well,
I mean, what do I got to say? Good for Canada, dog.
Good for Canada.
Hey, good for them, man. I mean, I wish we could get it over here. I mean, because I don't smoke. I mean, if I do, it's like maybe 2 hits and then I'm done. Like I don't go out and just like puff. But I understand, like, people who do. I have friends who do it, and I have friends who, like, I know it helps them a whole lot with anxiety. It helps them with some of their because people have a lot of mental anxiety and stuff. And I know people who do it, and it helps them out a whole lot. So, good for Canada. I mean, I wish we could get it in America. I don't think it would be too hard. I just think we have hard-headed people in this country. So good for Canada.
True. Hey, is anyone on this topic, or is everyone going to be like, no, I haven't done it. It's illegal,
Hey, real quick. The indie gamer says, Saltiest game, I think it was Oh Snap It's Mel. I have epilepsy, so it stood out. And he said laugh out loud. So, where are we at here? basically, it is what it is. People have different opinions on this. I don't want to dwell on the subject too long. I know some people will get triggered on it. They're like, "Oh, this is a gaming podcast." You know what I'm saying? So it's interesting to think about. You know, people have different thoughts on it. I think eventually it will go full nationwide in this country. I just think it's a matter of time. In Arizona, it's legal for medicinal uses. It's just like anything else in life. I think it can just be used to extremes. Like you can use food to extremes, or video games, or sleeping, or anything. You know what I'm saying?
True.
You could use it for the good, or you could use it for the bad. I mean, it just depends on how you approach it. So
absolutely.
that's
and I just wanted to say that the concept of the sesh empire, really, that's a big part of it for me, is gaming, entertainment, comedy, laughing, and having a great smoke sesh with your crew of friends and just having a good time, man. It really opens up the mind, and the conversation is something special. And that's where it all came from me. I've been rocking the sesh empire for like 15 years personally with myself and a bunch of close friends, and decided to kind of make it a social media thing that I'm going to roll out. And it's a big part of it, man. So I'm glad that it's legal.
Here's the deal. Like, I'm a big proponent for people searching for happiness and enjoying life. Because let's be honest, life can be tough sometimes and can get you down. And if this is something that can make you happy, if video games make you happy, I'm all about it, man. As long as you're not hurting other people, you're not affecting the way they live, go for it, do it. It's all about community and making friends and doing all this stuff. And like I said before, if it makes you happy, I'm all about it. You know,
as long as you ain't feeding kills on my team.
As long as you don't suck on my team, I'm all for it. You know,
as long as you don't make me lose in the NBA 2K, I'm all for it.
Yeah. So we'll move on to the next topic here. New Microsoft studio, The Initiative, hires former Rockstar lead. It looks like they're going for the all-star cast when it comes to the hires that they're doing. I just want to talk about this latest in, hires from all the industry leaders, and then kind of speculate on what type of game we think they're going to make based off of the portfolio that Xbox has right now and the studios that they've hired. So let's start off with our guest. What do you think that they're hiring all these all-star type caliber talent for? Like, what type of game do you see the Initiative pumping out for Xbox?
God. Well, I'm going to have to be greedy on this and just describe like my dream game, and it's going to be something sci-fi, something like massive. I'm picturing like almost a Halo and Destiny had a massive baby that was just hugely open. Like, have you guys seen the behind the scenes stuff that they're doing with Beyond Good and Evil 2?
Oh yeah,
it is so huge. Like, the scale is mind blowing, and I would like something like that just redefines kind of what you thought was possible in a video game, that you can do both branching missions, if you will, customization, stuff like that. I prefer first person because I think that's the most immersive way to play a game. I play everything I can in first person: racing, flying games, shooting games, everything I can. I hope it's one of those. Like, at the end of the day, I just hope the game is really good. It's going to satisfy a lot of people out there, but I hope it's in a genre that resonates with me, baby. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I feel you. Chat, let us know what you think this game is going to be. I mean, the portfolio needs to be diverse. A lot of people are saying they don't want to step on the toes of the Halos and the Gears, but I don't know, man. I have no idea like what they're going to be doing, and it's super exciting to me because it's obvious by the way that they're hiring these people that they're trying to gather the most talented people from the industry or something. We want to know what it is. Titan, what's your analysis for this? What do you think they're going to be pumping out, and what kind of game would you like to see the Initiative make?
Well, that's a lot of questions. Well, the thing is, they already had an all-star team even before the signing, right? And it's like, to me, I almost think it's like overkill at this point because, like, I feel like the next extreme, like they say, you're going to be blown away. You know, who doesn't say that on every game, right? But they say you're going to be blown away, and it's like, to me, the next like extreme step or the next extreme leap in gaming needs to be like like 1,000 man servers, like not 100 man, like 1,000 man, like 1,000 people in the same game. Now that to me would be mind blowing. Other than that, you got your story elements, your great story, but is that like really truly next level stuff? Like making an incredibly good story? I guess that's, you know, every person's opinion, but to me, it's like the people per server needs to be blown up and you know, just
wow,
crazy.
For me, the more people they just throw in a match doesn't instantly translate to more fun. Humans play video games weird. Like, have you ever been in a Battlefield match with 64 guys? Battlefield 4, this happened to me all the time. We would be like one alleyway, and there would be 30 guys on either end of the alley just launching missiles into it and throwing grenades. And that was going on for like 20 straight minutes. And that was so many matches. And it's kind of like, yeah, well, as neat as this is, it's just not an organic way to play a death match. I think like the 100-man battle royale does well because the map is huge and everyone gets to choose where they want to start. But like, didn't PlayStation do some kind of a 500-man game last on the PS3? And beyond, say, the server issues, it just didn't play well because humans play games weird and they end up just bunching up and throwing grenades at each other and they just don't care. Like, no one plays objective modes properly. Well, not no one. A lot of people
it needs
don't,
to
right?
be an open world, I think, and like an open world RPG kind of thing like that with thousands of people where you're just constantly running into new people. Not so much as a battle royale or anything like that, but it's more open world. That's where I see this going, and that's what I would like to see personally.
But with Fallout as an example coming up quick, that's only 12 people, I think, in the whole server, and the people that have played it so
20,
far,
it was 20 something, wasn't it?
Either way, it's low, and the people that have played
it was low.
the sites, they were saying that to actually come across another human out in the wasteland is a truly rare experience, which they actually liked, as opposed to every corner you turn is another human, and you don't know if he's going to grief you or just stand in your way or anything. Like, humans are weird and they don't always translate into fun, in my opinion. So I'm looking forward to that Fallout because it has only a few people. So when you do bump into them, you're both kind of like, hey, someone that's actually, you know, a human being on the other end, and you maybe won't instantly start shooting at each other and stuff because you might want to say hi and see what you have to trade. It's rare.
Well, that's an excellent, objective opinion from what I've got. You know, I'm kind of on the other side of the fence as you.
Not to say that you're wrong there, bro. I was just wondering.
Exactly. Like, neither of us are wrong, but I'm just saying, like, I'm kind of on the other side of the fence where I'd like to see more people, and like some of their decisions they're making, I don't necessarily care for. But I pre-ordered the game. I'm gonna be on the beta. Let's see what happens.
So
you and me, bro.
I've made my stance clear when it comes to some of these open world games. I think they're getting to the point where they're getting too big, and it just seems like, when does it end? You know what I'm saying? Like, you go to scale, you go the full United States, get Google Maps, you can drive on individual roads, and it takes you like as much time to go across the United States as it does in real life. It's like, at what point are we getting too big? You know what I'm saying? Like, you get your own house. You know what I'm saying? Like, what is this? Like, we start getting planets, and then you go to a different planet, and then you have to find people there and civilizations. It's like, this shit's getting crazy, man. Shady was saying, it doesn't really equate to fun necessarily. The bigger doesn't always equal better. Just look at the Marvel movies, for example. Like, they're doing this Avengers situation with Thanos or whatever, and it's huge, right? All the characters are in there, but it's not like they could just keep getting bigger. Oh, let's throw 1,000 superheroes in there. We'll have a bigger enemy and more explosions. It's like, that's not what makes a good movie. Story makes a good movie, and then you have to have different elements there, and that's the same thing with gaming. The problem is the industry needs to evolve and adapt and change, and that's what the initiative has to figure out when they're doing this new IP. It's like, what can we do to push gaming forward, but at the same time, we don't want to fuck this up and make, something that's not fun, if that makes sense.
True. Do you have a inside man for Forza Horizon 15 driving the United States? I mean, that'd be amazing. You never have to leave your house again.
Yeah, you literally live in the game.
Jesus Christ, dude.
So, Punk, what do you think, man? What would you want to see?
Well, first of all, like Titan was saying, like, every time you turn on Twitter or just look for any Xbox news, like they're hiring new people and like more the merrier. But like, are they gonna do overkill? I mean, shit, can Punk come get a job? I mean, I'll be your coffee, bitch. I don't care. I mean, the wallet's
Fucking
open,
A, me
dude.
too.
They're like, this just in, Titan Drago, fucking new hire. He has no fucking game experience at all, but we got him.
Hey, I can sing though. I'll sing in your game.
I don't know. If hardcore metal, no, we're good there. Dude, as far as games go, I'm more of a wait and see guy. Like I guess I don't really put too much thought process because I think at the end of the day, we've seen every game, every version made just in different ways. You know, just everyone's little, you know, they put their little touch on everything. And that's just how I see gaming because everything's already been done. It's like the movie industry. Everything's already been done. They put their touch on it. It's a new movie, but technically it's an old movie just redone a million times. That's how I see the gaming world. So like I said, I just do the wait and see, man. And then if it catches my attention, then I'll buy it. So I really don't have an idea of like what I want to see because that's like this already all been done.
I know what you want to see. Destiny. Made by
Destiny 53. No. I'll be dead by then. You know?
Hey, Nick, what do you want to see from the initiative, man? What would you like to see?
I'm gonna go. I want to piggyback on. I'm with Punk here. Like I'm gonna be the sort of wait and see guy. But something that Shady said. He said that he didn't want them to step. Like he said, people were out there saying that they didn't want them to step on the toes of the Halos and the Gears. But why wouldn't you want that? Why wouldn't you want a new game for Microsoft? Why wouldn't you want something that's awesome and big and like a brand new IP that's fresh that people get excited about? That's one thing I would say. And that's what I'm hoping for from them is just something fresh, something new, something exciting for Xbox and the Microsoft brand. Because I mean, I'm in the opinion that I'm tired of these Gears. I'm tired of the Halos and stuff like that. And I'd like to see something new. So as long as it's new, it's big, it's fresh, I'm cool with it. But I'm with Punk. I'm just going to have to wait and see for it.
Nice.
Well, we shall see what they're going to be doing. Next topic, XO18 is going to be coming out, right? We've heard of it. Lots of rumors out there. Lots of interesting things coming out from people that I've talked to from behind the scenes. They talk to some people that know some people. You know what I'm saying? That's how that goes. People are talking. We had this discussion on Xbox Nation about the level of excitement and whether we should temper our expectations or not. I came out of the gates and said, I think we should just be excited. I think a lot of times gamers are going to be disappointed no matter what. So why not be excited for this conference and be excited? Like, why do I have to temper my expectations? You know, like, why can't I be excited for this? But at the same time, we don't want to go above and beyond what's realistic for the company. One of the topics that I want to talk about is whether or not you guys think that we'll actually see a Fable trailer, maybe, you know, just some kind of a quick little hitter thing, nothing too big, just to let people know that they're working on it.
That's all I
Some
want.
CGI trailer. I've stated that I don't think that that's going to be a thing for Xbox because they've made it clear that they're not about talking about games. They're not, down the pipeline. A lot of people countered that argument with the fact that they showed Halo Infinite at E3. I countered that argument by saying that's Halo. We know that game's coming out. When you're doing a new thing like Playground Games tackling, Fable that led to cancellations and closures of studios, you got to handle it right. You don't want to have any repeat of Scalebound, so
Right.
I stated that I don't see them showing these CGI trailers or quick hitters at XO, even if it's not E3. I just think it's a stance that they've made, and I don't think they're going to change it just because it's an event. What do you guys think? Do you think that we'll see a CGI type trailer for Fable? Like, what's your thought on this? Let's start off with Nick.
I mean, I told you when we did that stream about the what was the inside Xbox, I was like, I don't care what they do, just let me know it's coming down the pipeline. Like, I just want to know. I don't care if it's CGI trailer or whatever. I just want to see it if it is a Fable. But I mean, you're right. They have already been stated that they don't really want to put themselves out there unless it's something solid. So if that's the case and they have something to reveal, then just expect them to show us some sort of gameplay. I mean, if we're gonna follow, that rule of thumb there. But yeah, I do not care what it is. Just show it. That's how I feel about it at this point.
You've been talking about Fable, right? Like, would it like ease your mind to see a trailer as opposed to hearing it from like unverified sources? Like,
Yeah,
what
it
would
would
that do
ease
for
my
you?
mind.
You know?
I mean, it would just be confirmation that hey, it's actually coming. Yeah, we can hear it from these sources, but you know, like you said, things can happen and things can be canceled. I want to see it, you know, actually on screen and official at an event. That would be nice to see. I've been waiting for another Fable since, you know, I beat 3, so I'm here. I'm ready for it.
Yeah, I don't know. Titan, what do you think, man? Like, do you think we'll see like trailers that are super far off of games that are in development of these new studios? Like, I'm not just limiting it to this Fable game. I'm talking at maybe other games. Like, do you think they're gonna go big and kind of go against their policy? Like, what do you think?
Well, it's like just like Nick. You know, I recently went on, you know, backwards compatibility and rebeat Fable 3.
Mhm.
So I love that game. I love the series. I'm probably just as excited as any other gamer out there. But at most, I'd like to see just a small like a teaser trailer, and that's at most because you know I don't like it. Like play games need to play it more like Red Dead. Save the hype till, you know, like Red Dead knows it's a beast game. So they purposefully kept all this information from me and they just like little bitty trailers and like hardly any information getting spread out about the game. That's what more games need to do instead of blowing the hype early. You know, save the hype, man, because Fable is gonna be a fantastic game. Mark my words. So
Okay.
that's just what I just want something very little, if anything at all.
Okay, so you're in that thought process of let's not announce it 4 years off and then show it and
Yeah.
show it and show it and show it because that's PlayStation's way to do
I was
things.
getting ready to say,
you
hey,
know?
so there's not a company, but yeah, no, I don't want like you guys are getting me wrong. I'm just saying that's what I want, but I'm with you guys. Like, wait, if they're gonna wait for it, then that's perfectly fine. It's just me being selfish as a fan of that game. I want to see it. That's all I'm saying. I just want to see it. It's me personally.
There's nothing wrong with that, Nick. Nothing wrong with that at all, man.
Nothing wrong with being selfish, you know.
In this case, there's not a damn thing wrong with being selfish. Let's be
Talk
real
to my
about that.
wife, and that's what I am.
Yeah,
selfish.
ask that question to my wife and see
Yeah,
what
right.
she says, right?
Damn, everyone's wife is like that.
It's like status quo, dude. You know.
Yeah, you're not alone.
So shady. What do you think, man? Are you
love it.
Are you a fan of Fable? Like, do you think that they're going to be showing CGI trailers out of the blue? Like, change their stance? Like, what do you think?
First off, I wanted to talk about the hype issue there. I've noticed a lot of gamers today, especially podcasters and people that have like a front-facing, you know, multimedia persona. They're very afraid to get hyped, almost like getting hyped and the game sucks, that like you're at fault or something. I don't get it, man. I am almost always hyped when it comes about video games or a good movie or my new favorite artist releasing their music or something. Like, am I let down? Yeah, often, but I'm not afraid to be let down at all. Just fucking grow up and accept it. Man, hype feels great. And when whatever it is you're hyped about comes out and it actually meets what you're looking for, and you're hyped for it, that game just resonates. Whatever it is, it just explodes for you. It's amazing. Whereas these guys that are terrified to get hyped and go into every game just, well, I'm not sure if I'm allowed to enjoy it or not, or if I'm supposed to slander it for my next video, or I just don't know. I can't stand it, man. I am already on the fucking moon when it comes to half of these games hype, man. Anthem,
Nice.
woo! It's got my soul already. Like, I can't wait for this kind of stuff, guys. I don't know what
You're
the deal
hyping
is.
me, man. I'm
hype.
I'm scared to get hyped
Damn.
on your hype about the hype. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's crazy. It's crazy.
Like, everyone else out there doesn't need to get hyped because I'm hyped, but like,
Hype, hype,
shit,
hype,
let's get a
I'm
hype.
hyped.
Let's get a
I
hashtag
am.
hype in the
It's just
chat.
a-
all right? Hype.
I already slit the conductor's throat years ago. I'm running this hype train. All right,
All right,
that's the way it goes.
Hashtag super chat hype.
Yeah,
As far as Fable goes.
hold on real quick.
You know
Let's-
what? Here's a
hold on.
good point, though.
I gotta pay the bills.
God damn it. Hold on.
All right. EA from Y9 Power got a $5 super chat. Appreciate my dude. EA makes games fast. Xbox haters thinks Xbox won't have a new game yet. Microsoft having all these studios to be bigger than EA and more quality. Ooh, calling a shot about EA there. I appreciate the super chat, my dude. We'll touch upon that later. Sorry to cut you off, Shady. What were you talking about, Fable?
Oh, I just want to give some hype shout out to Great Skull Zero in the chat. He's tearing his shirt off. He's so fucking hyped. I love it. I love it.
Hulk Hogan.
As far as Fable goes, I've never been part of that hype train. Whoa, weird. Fable didn't do anything for me when it was out, but I know there's a lot of people out there that love it. So if this is a new Fable coming, I hope it absolutely nails it for those guys. And for me too. Let's get this new Fable doing something for maybe the fans that didn't get gripped into it the first time and pull someone else in, namely myself. I mean, I want to play all the games. I want them all to be good. But I think they're also going to start showing stuff earlier than they used to. I think that was maybe the Microsoft of old when they didn't quite have all their ducks in order like they seem to now. Back with Scalebound, it wasn't an internal studio that was making it. Even same with Crackdown now. It's not an internal studio. So with these new acquired internal studios, I think they just have a way easier time overseeing what's happening and getting feedback as to when these stuff is going to be ready. And they just have more confidence in what these guys are going to do. So I think we're going to start to see stuff. And back at E3, I think they kind of showed that with maybe Battletoads. It won't be the hugest game in the world, but I don't think it's coming out, in 2 months. I think it's a little ways out still, but they did show that little 10-second clip of what we might get, and I like that.
You know what? I got a reason for that potential, worrisome hype for those people is because, you know what? If y'all remember, the last Fable game was canceled. Yep. Legends, right? But did any of you ever play that beta? Anybody on the panel? Let me get a 1 in the chat if you played Fable Legends in the beta. I played that junk in the beta. The balance... It was like they were so lost, people. Like the balance, it wasn't even close. It was so bad, the balance. And that's why that game was canceled, because they had so long to go in that game just with balancing issues. I don't think they could ever get it right. And that's why I think that one was canceled.
We're getting a lot of 1s in the chat. I've talked to some people that played it, and there's a reason why I got canned, folks. Lionhead just got stagnant. I'm sorry. Like, I understand that they, had history with that game, but the way that this industry works, it's what have you done for me lately? They don't care about what you did, 5 years ago, 10 years ago. That's why when a lot of people bring up Remedy, they're like, oh, Remedy's so good. It's like, well, when's the last time Remedy had a banger? And then they're like, well, Quantum Break, it's just like, come on, this is a show me now type of industry. If you don't show results, you're going to get canned. And it's an unfortunate thing. I'm not wishing for people to lose their jobs, or it's just the way it happened with Lionhead. And Playground Games have shown that they have the pedigree of building an open world. They know how to do it. It's just facts. And if they hire the right people to get the story in place and all that good stuff, it's good to go. I'm not worrying about this game. I personally am not a Fable dude. I'm just like Shady. But if they can pull me in, I mean, that's what they need to do with this game. It needs to go big. This thing needs to be a system seller. That's what it needs to be, Like, if they need to take some cues from The Witcher or whatever they need to do, make it happen, Captain. That's all I got to say, right? So,
what was your opinion on the first 3 Fables, Salty?
It's just, I don't know what it was. There was something about it. It was like corny to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was
there was a lot of corniness, like the chicken chasing and stuff. But I mean,
it's just I understand that's
like, if you don't like chasing chickens, there's something wrong with you, sir.
It was just I tried to play him and I couldn't get into it. We got the Welsh gamer with the super chat. He has the €5 super chat, or is that the pound? Sorry if I screwed that up. Saltiest, my brother, what's up, panel? T.S.G.P. If you guys haven't checked out the Welsh gamer, check his channel out. I will put the link in the description. He does good content. So yeah, I think Fable's okay. It's good to go. I don't. Maybe they changed their stance on the whole, showing things so far out. They showed Halo, and that's not going to be coming out for a while. I'd be okay with it, honestly, if they have confidence in these studios and that's what they're doing, then they can change their opinions on it. I don't have a big problem with that, Anybody else have thoughts on Fable potentially being shown? Because we have some tie-in topics that are kind of juicy from XO that I want to talk about. Crackdown 3 is going to be shown at XO. Like, you can mark it down in your book right now. Save the audio, splice it, send it to my DM. They're going to show the multiplayer at XO, and it's gonna look good. I've heard multiple people say that this game has been reworked. Money's been spent. I saw the results from year to year. Year over year was clear. And I'm not just blowing smoke up your guys' asses. That's not what I do. The game looked like complete ass, okay? What year was that? 2016 or 17? Before they showed the trailer this year. It was 17, I think, before they delayed it. That game looked bad. Like, the shading was wrong. It just didn't. It looked kind of similar to 2. Nothing really was standing out to me. And then I looked at the trailer this year. It looked really good. Like, that single player element. You had Terry Crews looking, Terry Crews-like.
Legit.
It looked fun. Like, this is going to be dropping in Game Pass. The XO event is perfect to show that multiplayer because it's right before it launches. Kind of build that hype before it launches in February. It's going to be dropping in Game Pass. You kind of build that hype up because people are kind of down on the game. So if they can show results at XO, it's going to kind of, bring some people back because there's a lot of people that don't give a shit about Crackdown. You know what I'm saying? So do you guys think that the multiplayer for sure was going to be shown at XO?
Yeah. I think so.
I
think it has the potential to shut these naysayers the fuck up. Mm-hmm. This is the one game that I want to actually deliver the most because of the amount of crazy hate that has been piled on this thing. I would love it to come out and just be insane and have that multiplayer be the full-on destruction like they say. I'm down if it's scaled down so it's not the full map at a time and you're just maybe playing on a city block or whatever, but I just want that level of destruction, man. And when it comes out and if it's fun to play and reviews well, I don't like to be a hardcore fanboy, but I'm going to relish in it because there has been just so much hate on both sides, on both the Sony side just hating it because it's Xbox, and then even Xbox guys just hating it. I don't understand why. I mean, Crackdown, it's not the biggest, best game for everybody, but it is some damn good co-op sandbox fun.
Yes, it is.
For anyone that knows how to have it. Like, it's some good stuff, and I look forward to it just for that co-op campaign part. And I really think that multiplayer is still intact, and it's going to deliver big. And it's just going to leave jaws on the ground.
I hope it blows people's panties off, as they say. That would be awesome.
Panties.
You know what I'm saying? Jaw
Who's
drops.
wearing panties?
Hey, I want to
see the chat for panties.
Yeah, type of 1 in the chat if you want to see some panties drop at XO. I want to see Terry Crews pop out like the fucking Kool-Aid man, break through a wall, have full armor on, scream, get the crowd hype. Let's fucking go. Let's get hyped. Terry Crews, I got a man crush on this dude. This dude is fucking.
It is awesome.
The man, like, you have him in the game. I need more Terry Crews. Call this Crackdown 3 Terry Crews edition. I don't give a shit. Like, the more Terry, the better is what I say. Shit, let's go. You know what I'm saying? I saw him in the trailer. I was like, yeah, I'm playing as Terry Crews. You know what I'm saying? I'll put some Old Spice deodorant on.
Heck yeah.
They need to bring them back for that Old Spice
power.
Start fucking flexing my chest muscles.
Playing the fucking drums and shit with his chest muscles.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
That's a dude that knows hype, man. That Terry Crews is going to be good. Is anyone not going to play as Terry Crews in the game? That's the question.
Fuck. Yeah, if you play it not as Terry Crews, we can't be friends.
Play the game
anymore.
wrong. Yeah. You play the game wrong, we're going to play as Terry Crews. That's
out,
for sure.
You're getting blocked. Sorry. Terry
ASAP.
Crews for life.
I'll play exclusively as Terry Crews.
Hey, Terry Crews, if you're listening, which you aren't, but much love, brother. So let's talk about, anybody else have any more comments about Crackdown 3? I think it's going to do amazing in Game Pass. It's perfect for that. I think that they're going to build hype at XO. It's going to be one of those games that drops in Game Pass, and then the sales will increase. It doesn't decrease in Game Pass, folks. Sorry.
Now, the one thing I do want to say, I do hope they do like a Ubisoft version of like comes out and hopefully like it blows your fucking balls off, and then like they just support it like with some free shit, dude. Like that would be phenomenal, and I think that would go a long way.
That's true. I don't have too much to say about the game itself. I just got my fingers crossed that I hope it's so good. I just want it to be so good. But you know what? Wreckfest, I don't know if you guys have heard this or not, but Wreckfest, the Demolition Derby game, is also being delayed from November till 2019. And I got to tell you, their public relations announcement was perfect. It was like spot on. Like, everyone needs to take notes. If you haven't seen their public relations announcement of why it's getting delayed, you need to check that out. Just Google Wreckfest delay. And thing is, too bad it's a lie. Because let's be honest, people, like, no one wants to release a game near Red Dead 2. Just someone say it. There's been how many delays around this time, and no one has said because Red Dead 2 is coming out. Like, let's be honest, for real. That's all I got to say.
Let's bring the common. Can I get that real quick? Can I get one of those?
Let's bring the common back to
Thank
sense real quick.
So Microsoft's Joe Staten is editing Crackdown 3 achievements. That means the game is a go. So for all you trolls that live under the bridge that were praying that this game was going to be canceled, too bad. Go cry to your moms and get some more Hot Pockets. This game is coming out, and we shall see how good it is. Let's move on to the next topic from XO. Banjo 3? Is this a thing, people? I know Nick's getting a chub over there.
No, not really.
I'm the only one getting a
Hey, just say you are, you know. Wrecked my thing, all right?
Banjo 3? Oh, I'm getting a... No, dude. Super chubby.
All right. So
Chub status.
Banjo 3E, this dude on Twitter, he had an interesting thing. It says, like, in his bio on Twitter or whatever, it says very, very long time developer at Rare, Battletoads, Donkey Kong, Banjo-Kazooie, Viva Pinata, Sea of Thieves, and then at the end it said Banjo 3E. And then people saw this, they went on Reddit, they highlighted it, they brought it up to him, and he's like, oh, my bad, guys. You know, like some fucking, like he purposely did it. So it's like, it's not like he was trying to hide this. And it almost makes me think that this was kind of like one of those things like Marvel. I go back to Marvel for some reason. I got to do like a movie thing here, but Marvel was, they do these things like when they talk about, they do press releases and stuff, they do purposeful leaks. Like the guy that plays the Hulk, what's his name? Mark Ruffalo. He's historic for leaking shit, and then they kind of play into that and be like, "Oh, my bad, I released the name of, you know, Avengers," and it gets people hyped. Oh shit, he leaked this. So I think this is kind of one of those things where maybe they're trying to leak information secretly, kind of seed this this possibility of something happening. Because if you guys didn't know, Banjo-Kazooie came out 20 years ago. 20th anniversary of this game. I think it's a perfect time to do something at XO, release, you know, something when it comes to this game. I'd like to see a remastered version of this game, typical style of, you know, Crash Bandicoot kind of situation going on. Maybe the first and second game, Nuts and Bolts was kind of ass, let's be honest. So they can just leave that one off, and I'd be okay with it. It's interesting when you talk about this, people don't give the credit where credit is due. Banjo-Kazooie arguably is one of the best platformers of all time. It's up there with Mario 64 in the way it was made and how fun it was. My wife recently played it. It was new to her, and she was like addicted to the game. The camera sucks in that game, and there's some issues with it, but it's still fun. I think this would be a perfect thing, and they have a good relationship with Nintendo, which leads me to believe that maybe, what if they announced that they're going to be releasing this remaster on the Switch? Like, how cool would that be? Maybe down the line they have some relation with Nintendo. Let's get a you know, Banjo-Kazooie on fucking Super Smash Brothers. Let's do that. You know? First. What's up?
I thought that's where you were going at first.
Nah,
not
Nick,
the remaster.
Let me talk. Let me hear from you, man.
Look, I will put it this way. I would love to see a new Banjo-Kazooie. No doubt about it. I'll play the hell out of it. And I mean, it's not something that I'm wishing for, but if you said, "Hey, Banjo 3's coming out," I wouldn't. I would probably get really excited. You know what I mean? So it's not like one of those things like, "Oh, you need Banjo 3," but if Microsoft's like, "Hey, by the way, Banjo 3," then I'd probably get hyped for it. So yeah, I mean, I could see that happening. I could see the relationship working there with Nintendo possibly. Put it this way, if Banjo gets put in Smash, then I could probably then see it being a game that's coming out here pretty soon, if that's the case. And I can only hope so. So Banjo 3, it's for me. That's my slogan for the day.
So that's a horrible slogan.
That's a horrible slogan.
Well, that's why I don't work in marketing.
Hey, Nick.
No, I'm just saying that because personally, no chub here. I mean, I think I may have actually turtled up a little bit on this subject. I'm just as anti-platformer as it gets, I guess. So, like, you have your fun with it, but you know.
So you just need to get good, is what you're trying to say, right?
I
was burnt out after Mario 3, I think.
You hated Cuphead, didn't you?
I never played
He didn't play.
Cuphead.
He's too
Yeah,
scared.
I'm a fraud. I'm a Cuphead
too
fraud.
Scared, bro. Scared. Come on, man.
Scared.
Get on.
I did. Yeah, everyone said that was hard. Why play a hard game that I don't like anyway?
Because it's
So,
fun.
Oh, Cuphead was fucking phenomenal, dude. Honestly, but like Nick, real quick, why do you think Banjo-Kazooie doesn't get the the recognition like Crash Bandicoot did? Like, if they were doing like a remaster of this game, it definitely would not get the play that Crash Bandicoot got.
No,
like,
it wouldn't.
why is that? Like, this game is beloved by a lot of people. A lot of people that own Nintendo. Like, is it because Xbox bought the property? Like,
I'm pretty
what's
sure
the
that's
story, dude?
I'm pretty sure that's what it is. One, it came out on the 64, and we know that Rare pretty much made the 64, and the 64 had to use Rare because they couldn't get any other partnerships because everybody was going with discs and they went cartridges and yada yada yada. And then they didn't keep Rare, which I thought was a mistake. They let Microsoft kind of just swipe them from underneath their nose, and Microsoft took over the brand, and they kind of just every property that Rare had, that Microsoft took over, they just didn't do anything with them. Perfect Dark kind of just crash and burn. Banjo, we all talked about nuts and bolts. It was just that was dookie. They can't do Diddy Kong Racing because that's Nintendo's property. They can't do. They didn't do anything with Jet Force Gemini, anything like that. And so, yeah, I think it just has something to do with the fact that Microsoft bought them and they just didn't do anything with it or anything good with it. And so whenever somebody says, "Hey, there's a Banjo remaster coming out," people are just gonna be like, that's okay. But then when you hear about Spyro or Crash, everybody goes crazy for it because it's still revered that way. You know what I mean? I think it has a lot to do with Microsoft buying it and not doing anything with it.
I don't know. I'm tired of like seeing that shit, honestly, because I like Banjo.
I mean, it's unfair.
Man,
Yeah, it really is unfair. But I mean, I like it too. I still play it to this day. I'm glad that I have it on my Xbox, but I really think that's what it is, dude. Like, it's just they didn't do anything with it when they bought it.
Yeah,
now we have Sea of Thieves.
Now we have Sea of Thieves. There you go. Next up, Punk. What do you think of this whole Banjo-Kazooie thing? Do you like the game? Did you play it back in the day?
I played it back in the day. It's kind of one of those, like, been there, I played it, I would not go back to play it again. I mean, like, you would really have to revamp the game or, in this day and age, put something new and fresh in there for me to actually, like, pick it up. But if it's the same old, then I wouldn't see myself picking it up at all.
I will also say this, like, you saw how people treated Super Lucky's Tale. How worse do you think they'll treat Banjo-Kazooie? You know what I mean? Like Super Lucky's Tale was a good game. I played it. I had a lot of fun playing it. But just imagine the sort of negativity that game got from Sony and from the Xbox community. And imagine if Banjo-Kazooie came out. Like, it might get the same thing. Other than that, or it may not. You never know.
Chat, type of one in the chat if you'd be excited for a Banjo 3 or a remastered version. Shady, do you have any thoughts about Banjo-Kazooie? Did you play it back in the day? What do you think of this whole situation?
Growing up a diehard Nintendo guy, especially during the N64 days, I was in like my early mid-teens there. Banjo was huge for me. Platformers at the time were also really big, and I think that they've kind of fallen to the wayside. And I've heard a lot of people talking about this Banjo 3 rumor with zero interest. Not for me. It's not for me.
Yeah.
I just wanted to say, look, and many people out there, but I'm going to speak for myself. I've had the luxury of playing video games and growing up at the same time that the industry is basically growing up. When I was a kid, video games were for kids. So they made tons of kid games. There was tons that appealed to me as a kid. And then in my early teens, that was when you kind of heard your first foul language, maybe you're a little bit of side boob going down in your game. Blood started coming in. Like you saw your first little bit of blood and stuff started to come in just when I was, 12, 13. And then as I became an adult, you started to see just a couple more games, like the matureness, quote unquote matureness, the violence and the language and some nudity and stuff kept getting ramped up. If everyone out there has played The Witcher, the dialogue in that is very mature. The graphics are mature. Like it's just an adult game. So we've all grown up with the industry that is catered to basically me and others my age the whole time. As we want something new, it's there for us. And I think it's kind of neglected the youth. We don't put big budget games and a lot of effort into making games for the 10, 12, and 13-year-old age group, the 8-year-olds out there to get into and really become a gamer for life. You got to get these guys when they're young, man. Like most things in the world, you get it in when they're young and they're not afraid of the controller and their minds are like sponges and they just soak it up, man. and then they're lifelong gamers. And I think that the industry needs to start catering a little bit to them. And Microsoft is buying studios left and right. I'm not against the idea that one or two of them even is kind of dedicated towards making content that skews towards that younger audience to get a new generation of fans into the Xbox ecosystem. I think it's a good move. Am I excited for a Banjo-Kazooie 3? I mean, if they go all out on it, similar to the way Mario was, the last Mario Brothers, there's a lot of fun to be had in that game. You know what I'm saying?
Dude,
it's
if
good
they,
stuff.
I agree with you. If they make Banjo 3 much like Super Mario Odyssey, like, oh my gosh, that would be like the next level. Like,
and I'd love to see like tons of effects. I remember being young, and 3D games with Mario 64 were brand new. But when you were seeing like the splashes in the water and little things like that, like just go all out on the effects, really show off what some of this hardware is capable of in a 3D world. Don't just accept that because it's kind of for the kids and it looks like a cartoon, that it doesn't have to be detailed. Like, give me lots of physics and lots of lighting and particles and all that stuff that just makes exploring the world, in my opinion anyways, more exciting to look at.
Shady, I really appreciate your thought process when it comes to games, thinking outside the box, thinking outside your personal opinion. I think a lot of times people fail to do that, and they're like, well, this is what I like, or this is what I think, and this is the way things should be for Xbox or PlayStation or Nintendo. So, for example, Super Lucky's Tale, I think got shit on. Like, it's not the best game by any means, but I think it got shit on because it was an Xbox property. I think a lot of the times, like you were saying, a lot of these kids' games don't get the respect or the pub that they need necessarily unless it's a Nintendo property, unless it's a Super Mario game. Like Super Mario Odyssey was fucking phenomenal, but that property is established, it's accepted. And then when you get into some of these companies trying to branch out, trying to do new things, trying to do a platformer, they kind of don't get respect because you got a lot of adult gamers are like, well, Xbox, oh man, they're just doing kiddie shit, Disneyland Adventures and this and that and blah blah blah. It's like, well, you need a diverse portfolio. You can't just have the same shit. That's why it's just like, man, I don't know, man. I get kind of triggered when I hear this shit where people are like, oh, we can't have any kiddie games on Xbox. It's like, well, I have a daughter, and if I want her to play my Xbox, she needs to have shit to play. That's just the way it is, So,
yep.
If they were to do stuff like Super Mario Odyssey took the Mario, the game, and it made it so diverse in the way he uses Cappy and shit. Like the things that you do in that game is just fucking phenomenal. You're throwing your hat at the wall at a zipper. You unzip the wall. It comes, it goes open. You go into that area. The hat is so diverse in the way it acts, and it just adds an element to this game. I don't know how the hell you do that with Banjo-Kazooie. Like
Kazooie, hello, you just said it right there. He's already got a bird on his back that helps him fly.
Wait,
don't think
the bird's not gonna like morph. The bird's not gonna morph into a fucking tank.
Yeah, but the bird, he can throw the bird, and the bird can open the zipper.
Well, it's Salty man with that zipper, man. Like Nintendo, they have charm. Something like they have this magic, this charm in their game that just you feel good as a gamer when you're playing it. You're just like, oh, like I'm not afraid to admit it's like you're just like that's adorable. And it makes you feel good when you do it. And I like that. And I think that's what some of these other platformers, I'll use Yooka-Laylee as an example, they're kind of missing just that charm aspect that makes you, as even an adult gamer, want to go and explore some of these cartoony, kiddie, open world platformer games. It needs to come back.
Yeah, I deleted my profile on Nintendo. Nick, you remember this? Like Fortnite,
yes.
In order to do the cross-platform stuff, my wife signed up an account. It wasn't the right way. You can't go backwards. So I ended up having to like delete my Nintendo account, create a new one. All my saves got trashed. So all my Super Mario Odyssey saves went away. So I'm replaying that game because my kid likes the cityscape area where you're like in the city. And that's kind of like further on in the game. So I'm playing through it again. I'm enjoying it. They're still adding content to it, adding new costumes and stuff. So that's cool, man.
That Aldofino DLC, just waiting for it.
Yeah.
Waiting
There's
for it.
Interesting little tidbit, a fact for those Smite players out there, real quick. With the latest Smite update, do you know what I'm talking about? There is now a little Xbox symbol right by your character now, so I'm thinking crossplay for Smite is on the horizon, like very soon. Very
And
Guys
cool.
gonna get
apparently-
dumped on by mouse and keyboard or what?
Who
and
knows?
And apparently, it's not. It's coming to the Switch. They just don't have a date yet.
There you go.
shit.
That would be awesome. I would love to play against Switch people.
Hey, in Fortnite, you play against Switch people.
Oh, you don't wanna
You're
play me.
guaranteed to up your KD. I'm just gonna tell you
For
that
real.
right now, man.
For real.
So,
You're talking trash on Smite on me, Nintendo?
I'll body you, son.
all right,
You need to
let's-
team up with me then. Shoot.
All right, let's go on to the next topic. It kind of goes along the lines of developers and all the topics that we've been talking about. Apparently, Rockstar employees claim 100+ hour work weeks with little to no breaks. Are you guys triggered right now? Do you feel like you need to do a rant on social media and tell Rockstar how terrible they are and that you're going to boycott this game?
No, not at all. Especially when the documentary came out and explained it.
Yeah, thank you. Go ahead, Shay. You go
They
ahead.
talk about it, and it was kind of like it's the head writers, like Laszlo from GTA, who's on the radio station. Like he actually writes.
I love that shit.
He writes the games, which I thought was hilarious. Like, awesome, Laszlo, sweet. But like him and his crew of the top tier, there's like 13 guys, I think they said, and this is the way they've been doing work for over a decade. Is that little group of guys gets together and just goes bananas. So they're basically living and breathing, eating and sleeping the lore as they write it. Like, so it's all consistent, just good and rich, and that shows in their games. And they were very specific to say, this is not the way we expect everyone else in the company to operate at all. There are a few standouts where their passion brings them here all day, all night, every day. That's the way they operate, and that's fine for them. But they don't expect that out of everyone else. They're definitely not forcing it on everyone else at all. And this has really blown up. Even after saying that and coming out with that, I found the major media sites reported on that for an hour. And then we're instantly putting out more articles talking about how they're cracking the whip over there and the real slave drivers. They're not even giving these guys washroom breaks. They're pissing into buckets. Like insanity. Insanity, to be honest. It's even like Rockstar Top. They've given their employees the go ahead to talk about it. And some of them have been just brilliant on Twitter, where one guy, he's got like a picture like he's been taken hostage. And he's just like, I wanted to let everyone know I have access to food and water in the facilities and I've been treating fairly at Rockstar Entertainment. Like, it's great stuff, but they are not being taken advantage of here, nor is a little bit of crunch time outside of the norm in this industry. The people getting into the industry are aware of what kind of goes down. So I don't think it's alien to those types of guys, and it's just been blown so far out of proportion. Anyone who's not going to play Red Dead Redemption 2 because they're worried there's some kind of unfair work conditions at play here. Meanwhile, they're bitching about it on social media with their phone that was made in China by, like, let's get real here. There's suicide nets on the sides of buildings over there because the work conditions are
Let them know.
That why? Like, come on here.
All right,
Let them know. Okay. Well, when you haven't seen the sun for 69 days straight and your life is under constant duress 100% of the time, then report that to the media, okay? Because that's what life was like on a submarine. And you don't want to know. I got stories, okay? Well, let's not even get into it. That's just that. Like,
All
give
right,
me a break.
Exactly.
Give me a damn break.
We got some good comments from the chat. I want to read them. Butcher Van says, everybody is overreacting. I have had 2-week paychecks multiple times over 200 hours. We had another one here. Anyway, I can't. Okay. Yeah, the Welsh Gamer, you have developers like Telltale that would kill to have this much overtime. What are people complaining about? Laughing my ass off. See, here's the deal. If you like your work environment, it's not really that big of an issue if you work extra hours.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like, if you have a shitty job and a shitty boss, it doesn't matter if you're working 10 hours, you hate going there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
20 hours, you would hate going there. If you love what you're doing and the environment is awesome, you don't give a shit if you're working 100 hours because you want to see this product be the best possible thing. And it's not a thing that's happening all the time. like people are trying to make it out to be. The reality of things is it's social media, and it's all these fake ass people that put their hashtags out there like they give two shits when they don't give two shits. That's the reality. That's the same people that come out of the woodwork and cry over celebrities that die that they don't give a shit about. When tragedy strikes, they put their hashtags out and they don't give a shit about that either. They just want to be seen as doing something and being something that they aren't. So it is what it is. They're manufacturing this hate. They're manufacturing this story. Red Dead Redemption is a big, huge game. It's a big story. So what happens when you get a negative story against that kind of a topic? It gets traffic. It gets views.
Clicks.
You know what I'm saying? That's why this is going, and that's why it's picking up. And
it is,
that's
man.
just a fact.
Negativity is the new drug of choice of social media, and now that the world has monetized clicks, man, it's all negative out there. You could have a masterpiece game with that one video about that one little thing where the guy found that somehow he twists into a negative thing. That's going to be the biggest video.
Yep.
The game's fantastic, but this one thing, and it'll have 8 million clicks because everyone's like, "Oh my god, what is it? What is it?" Like, it's
why my channel isn't growing, because I'm focusing on more positive.
Yeah, man. It's not a good look. Not a good look at all, man. This is completely manufactured and has been dealt with it from the top, from the own mouths of the guys there saying, "Hey, that's not the way it is." Like, they were the ones that said the 100 hours because they were impressed. Like, they were proud of it. We're putting in our everything we got into this game. And he was speaking, of course, for his small group of guys, not the company, but people just ran with that sucker, dude, and they are spiking that ball in the end zone endlessly with it. I don't know what to say.
Yeah, it is what it is, man. I'm going to enjoy the game. I didn't say shit about it on social media because it honestly didn't warrant a tweet for me. Like, you could look at my records. I didn't say one thing or another. I'm just like, wow, this shit's actually a story and people are actually running with it. It's crazy. Like Mooch was saying, like, you go to, even in the, the food industry and some of these bigger cities, like, people are dropping 80 hours, 100 hours regularly. Right. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like, this isn't a new thing. Like, people think this is a new thing. I think it's people are living in some dream world that thinks that 40-hour work weeks are the standard. It's like, people are, my dad, like, he's been working his ass off his whole life. He works consistently 60, 70, 80-hour weeks. He's on salary, you know what I'm saying? And I'm sure he doesn't like his job as much as these dudes at Rockstar. So we'll move on to the next topic. I just want to get some thoughts about Black Ops 4. This game's selling gangbusters. There's a lot of people that were virtual, they're putting their thoughts out there on social media saying they were going to boycott this game. There's no single player. I'm not buying this shit. You shouldn't either. It's Activision, the big bad, blah, blah, blah. Let's boycott it. But what happens when, at the end of the day, the game comes out and it's breaking records. It's shattering records. It's selling. It's extremely successful. So where are all these people? Well, I know a lot of them are playing the game. They're probably playing it right now, to be honest.
Frauds!
Right? So let's talk about this. A lot of people are saying, well, this is a slippery slope. Other companies are going to copy the model. They're going to take out the single player and all this other stuff. And I say to that, not every company is Activision. Not every game is Call of Duty. See, some games need single player, some games don't. Some people, like Halo, for example. You can't just rip the single player out of Halo and sell it to your customers and expect them to be like, okay, we're going to be okay with this. It's like that game needs to have Master Chief. He's like an icon, right? So this shit doesn't work across the board. Like, just because one thing happens in the industry doesn't mean it's going to be carbon copied all over the rest of the industry. That's my take. What do you guys think of this situation? Do you think COD's going to go forward with no campaign? Do you think they'll add it in? Do you think it's going to wreck gaming as we know it? Let's start off with So Shady.
Well, I believe they've already come out and said that the next game has a confirmed campaign. Yeah. So, I mean, there's that already. Yeah. Any company out there that thinks that they can pull their campaign and still have success like Call of Duty, it's like, Call of Duty sells 20 million every year. Yeah. Does your game? Unless that's happening, I wouldn't be so quick to be pulling content. And everyone's, I love the Call of Duty campaigns. That is why I typically buy my Call of Duty games. But I always got Call of Duty during a sale. I wouldn't buy it day one. This one, I got day one. I did have it paid for by a follower, but I'd already pre-ordered it for myself beforehand, so I was able to just get my money back essentially and have it gifted, which was fantastic, by the way. But I was willing to buy this game day one with no campaign because I knew Battle Royale was for me. PUBG, didn't want to touch it. It was a mess. Fortnite wasn't getting the job done. And I wanted this Blackout, and I love it. It's a really fun experience. I find it just, the pacing is great. It's not too fast. It's not too slow. Hit detection's good. When it's not lagging, I haven't had that issue. Maybe that's a Canadian internet thing up here. I'm not sure, but I haven't had lag issue like people say when I play 4-player squads in Blackout. So I'm having a really good time. I also like the multiplayer a lot. I've never really gotten into zombies, but I've decided this is the title. I'm going to go all in. I want to play a lot of co-op and games with friends and community members and just have a good time in the multiplayer world out there, as opposed to just hide constantly by myself, sticking to campaigns. Like, I love a good campaign, but nothing beats multiplayer and co-op with friends.
Titan, you love this game. What do you think, man?
You know, it's like many people talk trash about this, about not having a campaign, but it's like, you know what? Noof Nukem is literally the only person I know that talk trash about not having a campaign and actually follow through with it. He's the only one I know that doesn't play this game. But anyways, this game also,
I don't play it.
If you haven't looked, it's got 2.5 stars on the dashboard on the Xbox on the reviews, and like these reviews these people are making are just like terrible reviews. Like, have you even played the game, people? Like, one guy actually said he played the game for 10 minutes and gave it a 1-star review. How do you even do that? How do you live with yourself like that? Like, this game is all like, I have not been a Call of Duty fan for a long time. You know what? And you have to give credit where credit is due, people. You know what? It doesn't have a campaign, but credit is definitely due. You can tell they took their time with the multiplayer and they put some extra stuff in. The new modes, Heist, that's a really great mode.
Control
Salty,
is good.
Salty. We played Control the other day. You liked that mode. Like, these are two really great modes that didn't exist, you know, in Call of Duty till now. And it's like, you know, people are complaining that they took out this content, but they added so much more. And to me, it's always been about the multiplayer. Now, I mean, and you know, a lot of people spoke out about it being, you know, not having a campaign, but you know what? You still bought the game.
There's actually a lot of decent cutscenes in the game for having no campaign. It's got a lot of cutscenes. Like, there's a lot of wicked intros to each of the specialist characters and some kind of an actual like ongoing story. I'm not hugely versed on the world of Black Ops, but there's some strings that are connecting there for the guys that, you know, took it serious and are really into it. So, like, don't just write it off because you don't get to run through a level and, as to quote Mooch, you know, follow Captain Stu Nuts the whole time. I love those campaigns again. Like, I love them, but it was not enough of a reason for me not to get this one. And like I said, I got it day one. Didn't wait for a sale. I love it. Anyone out there looking, it's worth it.
Sorry about that. The Welsh Gamer says COD devs are lazy, though. They still haven't updated their graphics engine since Call of Duty Finest Hour on PS1. What do you guys say about that?
Yeah, I wouldn't go that far, but I wouldn't go that far, but I do agree. Like, yeah, they kind of really do piggyback on that same.
They take very minor steps forward. Yeah, very minor, like baby steps, you could say.
Hey, they say if it ain't broke, don't fix it. All right, it's just the name of the game. Damn it, just live with it. All right.
Frames. Call of Duty has been about 60 frames since the Zampella era, okay? And it's like that, they're not going to compromise 60 frames as much as possible. You know, like with the 100-man servers, they're definitely doing that, but I mean, they had to get into the BR market. That was just a must for them.
So, I mean, the games look good. They're not horrendous by any stretch at all. Like, they do look good, and I think that for a Blackout, it looks a lot better than PUBG. There's that. Like, I was pretty impressed, to be honest. Some textures are soup, most aren't.
Yeah, that's not hard to do, right? Honestly, with PUBG, because it's trash. No, I'm just kidding. But honestly, here's the deal. Power doesn't matter, guys, right? So it doesn't matter if we're improving the graphics, right? It's all about the game. So a little dig there. But anyway. Yeah, I think it's a good game, and I think it's getting a lot of unnecessary hate. I think what it comes down to is there's a lot of people that will never pick up a COD game, haven't picked up a COD game, aren't really FPS players in general. Not a fan of the genre at all. It's like I've heard a lot of people been asked the question. It's like, okay, you're not a fan of this game. You're talking shit about it. When's the last COD you picked up? I don't know, man. Like Black Ops 1 or even further back, like it's like, okay, well, you haven't really experienced much. It's like, are you even a fan? It's like, nah, I don't really like the multiplayer. It's like, well, I mean, the proof's in the pudding there, right? If you don't like vanilla and you go to an ice cream store and you get vanilla, you're probably not gonna fucking like vanilla. You know what I'm saying?
Good one.
It doesn't matter how good that vanilla is. Anyway,
Vanilla Bean.
Exactly, that's pretty good flavor. Infinity Ward, Call of Duty lists for jobs and claims they're making a cross-gen Call of Duty in 2019. This is kind of fueling further speculation that PlayStation 4 is coming out with the PlayStation 5 in 2019 due to this cross-gen situation. It's interesting the way that this was stated. A lot of people are pretty firm on the idea that the PlayStation 5 is going to be dropping in 2019. I used to think that it was going to be dropping in 2020, but I don't know. I might be changing my mind. So we'll see if they're still doing the same engine. There's some people out there that are saying don't expect a huge leap when it comes to games going into next generation. So it's probably going to be status quo for Call of Duty in the foreseeable future. They'll probably have a campaign. I foresee if this Battle Royale craze keeps going, which I think it will, I think they'll probably add another Battle Royale into that game, or they'll expand on Black Ops 4, maybe add some new maps there, make it games as a service, make that their Battle Royale. What do you guys think about this PlayStation 5 rumor, the fact that it's coming out in 2019? Because there's been multiple signs that they're putting job posting up there. Sony's hiring for a PlayStation 5 marketing leader. Like, they're putting it out there. People have said that PlayStation 5 is in production right now, in development. Like, we're getting this rumor out here about cross-gen Call of Duty in 2019. Like, what more signs do we need that it's going to be 2019? Like, what do you guys think about that? Don't hop in all at once.
I'll jump in. I think it's a bad move myself. It's a year early. I thought the Pro was a year early as well and wasn't needed when it first came out. I think 2019 is kind of jumping the gun, and I'm not sure what their motives are, being the market leader, just dominating, as well as the games that are still coming out are still better than the games that we're getting only a few months ago, let alone a year ago. Like, that's still on the up and up. So I think 2019 is just a little too early for me, but 2020 sounds more accurate. I'm prepared to be wrong. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter. Yeah. But Call of Duty coming out on being that, like, there's a lot of rumors out there. I'll wait until Sony confirms it myself before really saying that it is. Like, I don't think it's gonna, though. I really don't.
It's odd because people are saying now it's like, all right, PlayStation 5 is going to drop in 2019, then Xbox is going to be 2020. And it's like, well, that's kind of weird and odd to me. I think that they'd be coming out at similar times. I wouldn't expect them to wait, entire year to drop in between, unless they just don't care about generations anymore and they don't really care about the sales gap and all that other situation. There's a lot of signs stacking up that it is going to be 2019. I personally think it isn't the right move for them. They're the market leaders, like Shady was saying, and it's just kind of odd to me. I think that you're kind of cutting your own bottom line, per se, when you're dropping a new gen, when you're dominating this current one. So,
well, it sounds like it would just be the same games, but again, higher res, better frame rate, maybe more effects. Like, unless they have something that is only playable there, I think it's just kind of too early, man. Like, really, that's just as simple as that. At least at the beginning of this gen, like, we had Killer Instinct, we had Dead Rising 3, we had what was another one that launched? It was Rise. Like, they were just only this gen, and they gave you that reason to be like, my God, I can't play that on my 360 or my PS3. Whereas if this new PS5 is just kind of sounds more and more like a mid-gen upgrade.
Yeah, what was it, Battlefield 3? I was playing on 360. Was it Battlefield 3 or 4? It was one of those games, and they upped the player count, and you could only have that higher player count on the next-gen system, so that was like a big thing for me. I was like, damn, I want to experience that, like game-changing things. But like the way that this developer was talking about not expecting a huge leap, which, I've talked about before, it's like, well, what's the selling point to move people into the next generation? I bought an Xbox One X, and I think all of you guys have an X, right? I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Like, what would be the motivation for you guys to upgrade to spend another $500, $600, whatever it is, to upgrade to a new system? Is it frame rates on more, higher frame rates on more games, like more 60 FPS? Like, is that going to do it for you guys? I mean, native 4K on more titles? Like, what is going to get us to upgrade?
That would do it, but not next year. Like, if Xbox was releasing another Xbox next year, I would wait a year myself at least. I just got the X last year, so I'm willing to wait like 2 years for it, even 3 to be honest. But it all depends until I see what these new systems can go. It's easy to be like, yeah, I don't need it, until you see the next game running on it, and you're just like, holy Jesus, forget what I was talking about. Like, sign me up. So
that's what I think a lot of people do that too, Shady. I think the same thing. We all sit here and talk about waiting for like sales and shit, but then when you see the latest and greatest and flying off the shelves, you're like, I gotta have that motherfucker.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. And you know what? Cross-gen, being the next Call of Duty being cross-gen, this is really where, like, who was saying in the chat, I don't remember, but they were saying, they've been, lackadaisical upon updating their engine. This is really where they need to up their graphics engine. But here's the problem, is that I don't think they're going to, because developing for more than one gen takes more time away from development time, right? And beyond that, it's sad to say that the next gen won't be a ridiculous upgrade, because especially with Xbox All Access, you know what? The Xbox needs 2 systems for next gen. One being a very expensive, legitimate upgrade that you can use All Access with, and maybe another one that's on the PlayStation 5's level or whatever. But they definitely need one that uses the Xbox All Access program. If they don't, this is a huge missed opportunity for me.
We shall see, man. I think at this point it's just speculation. It'd be interesting to see how each of these companies approach the next generation. I think it's going to be all about, what can you do to sell to the consumer? Because honestly, the frame rates, people don't understand that shit, man. Like, it's not like, hey, this is an HD television. This is what a shitty, low def box looks like, and this is what an HD one looks like. It's like, this is 1080p, and it's like a lot of people don't even understand 4K. What is that? Frame rates, people don't understand that. I'm sorry. Like, we're hardcore gamers. We know the term. We know what frame rate is for the most part. But like the average consumer, you tell them that, they're going to be like cross-eyed when you tell them that shit, So
there's guys that do podcasts today that are convinced that frame rate is making you run twice as fast at 60/30 and stuff. Like, it's still even quote unquote hardcore gamers, a lot of them don't understand what the fuck frame rate is and resolution is and stuff. It's out of their wheelhouse, man. But they'll comment on it, they'll hate on it. It's insane. Like, educate yourself or keep your trap shut.
True.
Yeah, it really just takes a little bit of research, really, to get educated on all this stuff. It just takes a little bit. It's not extensive.
All right, well, we got some quick hitter. I'm going to steal that from you, Nick. Quick hitter news that we're going to go through pretty quick, and then we'll conclude the show here. It's actually a lot of topics, so it's going to be a little bit here. All 3 Crysis games are now backwards compatible. Do you guys give a shit? I don't, okay?
Nope. Awesome.
You like it? Okay, let's hear it.
Oh, I love Crysis, man, and they're just going to play way better now on the original Xbox One and on the X. They're just going to run smoother. That frame rate will be smooth. I really had a good time with that series. I'm looking forward to completing 3.
Awesome. So you'll be hopping in there. Anybody else going to be trying that out? Chat, type of 1 if you're going to be playing these Crysis games now that they're backwards compatible. Anybody else? Anybody? Okay, we'll move on.
I'm not playing.
Let's talk about Microsoft teaming up with Taco Bell
to
give you the shits exclusively for Xbox. Now they're going to be doing a little thing like they did with the X when it was coming out. You buy their little box thing for $1, and you can win a box. This time it has a white special edition Xbox. It looks pretty cool looking. It shades
platinum
from black to white, and then it has a Elite controller in there as well, a white one, I think. It looks pretty fucking awesome. It makes me salty that they're not doing these custom consoles for us, the consumers, and you gotta win them, or you gotta pay a shitload in a fucking drawing or this and that. It's like they're coming out it seems like every other day. Here's a special console for this charity and this charity. And I'm not dogging charities, and I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but like, throw your customers a fucking bone here. Like, we're sitting out here like fucking famined over here. We want a custom console, and you guys just won't give it to us. Like, the most that we got was just the white console, and it's like, I was saying this before, when we buy our phones, we get the option of buying a fucking black phone or a white phone. It's not cool to just get a white edition Xbox. I'm not getting hyped on that, dude. You know, like, come on.
I think this platinum one is actually the only custom, quote unquote, custom console that they've done that I can get behind and say, hey, you guys should be selling that with the Elite controller bundled in. Whereas like the Ant-Man console or the Star Wars Solo console, like, hey, how's that Ant-Man and Wasp game or the Solo game? There aren't any. So why the fuck would you sell a video game console with Ant-Man and the Wasp on it? Like, I get how it's for charity. For those interested in it, they like games, they like Marvel, they might donate to money to a charity they normally wouldn't. So I think it's fine that they're releasing all these themed consoles that are all about movies and stuff like that. Like a Black Panther, people were going wild. Hey, how is that Black Panther game, by the way? There isn't any. And that's why I don't think it's on the shelf for gamers to buy, is because it doesn't fit the mold, man. We don't have exclusive blockbuster games yet that have warranted having big custom consoles. They could have done one with Sea of Thieves, maybe. Just the theme of the game looks like they could have painted one up looking nice. But again, when they do custom consoles, I end up seeing them on shelves months later, just sitting there. No one wants it because the property around it isn't currently buzzing and trending. So I'm not sure as a business way on how they could do this properly. How do you know what the demand is for XYZ theme? I think they need to somehow get themed consoles into the design labs like they have for the controllers, and let guys go in there and maybe pick and choose colors or designs for their console. And Microsoft whips it up for you and sends it out for, would be a premium. But I think that would be the best way for people to get what they want. Or if you're willing to spend the money, find an artist in your area and make a true custom console, a one-off for just you, instead of buying one of 100,000. I mean, the Spider-Man console is not that special. A million people have it.
Butcher Van says, what doesn't make sense is the X is really easy to replace the shell for a custom console. That is true. And also, like what Shady was saying, like with this design lab situation, I've seen like third party, like they're like it's like a sleeve you can put over your Xbox, and they're shitty, they fall off. But like, if they could get that to work where you go to the design labs, get your sleeve custom and tricked out, they ship it to your house, then you slide it on your console, you could take it off, like change whatever you want, maybe go to the design labs, make you a controller that matches it or whatever. That would sell like hotcakes. I mean, it's not a permanent situation for your Xbox. You could, take it off if you don't want it. Like if companies coming over and you don't want this shiny pink Xbox going on, maybe you take the sleeve off and then it looks cool on your entertainment center. But I think they're kind of missing the boat here when it comes to these custom consoles. I personally was almost tempted to go buy that PlayStation 4 bundle, the Pro bundle, when it came to Spider-Man, because I thought it looked pretty nifty. I didn't end up doing it because I'm a cheap bastard. I got shit to pay for. I don't have enough time. I can't even fucking play the games that I have right now. So it's probably a good thing that I didn't do that. But it did make me think, like, hey, I might go in and buy this PlayStation 4 Pro because it does look cool. I do like comics. I like this custom thing going on. So I think there's a market out there. I'm not sure why Xbox isn't doing it. They got reasonings. I don't know. I'm not behind the scenes there. What about you guys? Like, who else? Any thoughts there?
It's like, welcome to the only proper marketing for Xbox that they're going to, it's the only proper marketing they're going to have till probably the end of the next gen. And it's with Taco Bell. Like, it's like, do you guys remember, it was during the 360 era where you went to Burger King and like you got a game for like $3 in a meal?
Yeah, Sneak King. That's what's up.
Yeah, the Sneak King.
Sneak King? What?
That was
a little biker one, little fucking like a little mini bike.
It was like Manhunt, but Burger King themed. Instead of killing guys with plastic bags, you fed them Happy Meals. It was hilarious. I loved Sneak King.
That's where
was
Salty
funny,
got his freaking avatar from and everything.
Look,
but anyway,
free 200 gamer score, right?
Heck yeah!
All I have to say to Taco Bell. All I have to say to Taco Bell is like, please, this time, can you have the box this time? I went to Taco Bell for this code, right? Like, I went to Taco Bell. I mean, ask Saul. I bought so many boxes from Taco Bell, and they just handed me a plastic bag with the stuff in it. And I'm like, where's my code, yo? They're like, oh, we're out of boxes. I'm like, well, thanks for nothing. I didn't come here just to get the food. I want the box. Saying, bro, I bought you the food bag.
I want your food.
Yeah, I wanted the box with the coach. She's like, oh, well, we're out of boxes. Sorry. I was just like, I'm getting fat for nothing, bro.
Yeah, you know, the rest of the assholes got that box and they weren't even there for that shit. Like the lady who drove through, like 70 years old. Like, here you go. She's like, I know. That's cool. I just want the food. Threw the box away. You're like, bitch, give me your box.
Right. They have the boxes. You know, that employee is just keeping them for herself. Give you the bag,
you probably
and they just put that box aside. They're all counted.
Bro.
When there's contests, they count those types of boxes and stuff like that. So she's probably just putting one aside every time she sells one so she can go home and enter herself.
Hey Nick, I know what you should do, man. Just chill on the inside, wait for people to throw their shit away that don't care. Just like, yo, bro, let me get that. Yo, let me cop that. Let me cop that.
Just stand there.
Yeah,
you know, watch people eat, fucking being all weird and shit.
Yeah, dude, I get the cops calling me so quick. Hey, this is black guy here.
This individual.
No way. No way.
I just wish I could win up in Canada, man. We have Taco Bell, but the contest isn't up here. At least the last one wasn't. So I don't get a chance.
Yeah, I don't know.
I didn't get the chance either, Shady. I didn't get the chance either. Find out of my box.
Man, I go up in that Taco Bell lane, be like, who stole my code? Who was this?
You just start offering money, dude. Like, I'll give you $1 for your fucking box. No food in it, bro. Just start fucking handing out money. Make it rain up in Taco Bell, dude.
People were saying that like they're gonna go to Taco Bell like and not eat the food. I was like, "What are you doing?" And you take the food out and like throw it to some random person when you walk out. I was like, "Damn, dude,
shoot, you're not gonna not go to Taco Bell and not get the box and be like, no, I'm not gonna eat this cheesy gordita crunch and cinnamon twist. Get out of here."
Hey, Taco Bell is one of those things. It's like McDonald's. Like you bring up McDonald's, and people are like, "Oh my God, you're going to McDonald's? Like, don't you care about your health? Like, oh my God, I'm judging you so hard." Like Taco Bell, people talk so much shit on Taco Bell and say they never eat there and they get the shits every time they go there. But then you see them on the DL going to Taco Bell and loving that shit. So I don't want to.
You know what I'm saying?
I don't want to hear
it. For me, bro, I love Taco Bell. I was just mad I wasn't getting the boxes because I was specifically going there to get the box. She was like, "Oh, we don't got it."
Yeah,
it's like masturbation, boys. Everyone does it. No one admits to it. That's how it goes.
Right.
We're not sponsored by Taco Bell, by the way, but hey, we'd love to be. If you're out there, Taco Bell, we love you. We don't get the shits from Taco Bell. We love you, Taco Bell. Anyway, let's go on to the next topic. New avatars are out for Xbox, and they look fucking horrible, dude. I just gotta talk about this. Like, the art style triggers me when I see it. Like for the dudes especially. I don't know who the fuck designed these. But like,
you saw who designed them. They were all over inside Xbox.
Oh my God, dude! Like the art style triggers the fuck out of me, dude. I don't like the way the face is. I hate it. Like,
well, there's no genders if you notice. There's masculine and feminine traits. There's no genders in avatars anymore. I'm gonna make a no armed, no leg, wheelchaired, pregnant man avatar. It's gonna be fantastic.
You're just a blob.
Everyone's transsexual on Xbox.
So anyway, it's the art style sucks. I don't think it's that much of an upgrade. People are like, some people are like, oh my God, this is the best thing since sliced bread. I'm like, damn, might need to go to the doctors and get your eyes checked because this shit is horrible. Anyway, it doesn't warrant that much of our attention here. That's why I brought it up kind of last.
Bro.
You know what I'm saying?
Nah, it's crazy though. My wife spent like 30 minutes, almost 45 minutes making her avatar. Like, does this look like me? I was like, no, none of them look like you. Just stop. Stop. I'm not gonna give you advice on. They don't look like anybody. They like Shady said. You notice that they just have all these traits, like nothing. So I was like, quit. But she spent like 30 to 45 minutes making her avatar. She's like, you gonna make yours? I was like, no, thank you.
Did anyone else's default masculine avatar have like purple mascara on as soon as you loaded him? Like, here's your default masculine, and he was wearing makeup. Default. Like, what is the message they're trying to send here? That's what I want to know.
It's not for me, man. Not my avatar. I'll just put that out there for myself. I'm not gonna
not my avatar.
I didn't mess around. I didn't care about it before, but once I saw him, like the full thing, I was like, no, thank you. And then there's like a Twitter thing out there that said this guy that was trying to put like waves in his hair, and then he spins his avatar around. It's like half of his hair is missing on the backside of his head. Did you guys see that? It's crazy,
Yeah, I
man.
saw that.
Crazy. So anyway, that's that topic. We'll move on. It comes to find out, looks like the keyboard and mouse that Xbox is supporting is being blocked on Xbox One by some of the developers. Come to find out on Fortnite and other games. It's interesting because once it was talked about, people were saying, well, this is opening the gateway to hell, right? I mean, once we let Xbox mouse and keyboard support in, gaming as we know it's going to crash. It's like Y2K all over again. Everything's going to fold in on itself. We no longer will be gaming on consoles. Life is, it's over, blah, 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 right? The sky's falling. Come to find out, these companies are smart. They're not idiots. They don't want to piss you off as a consumer base. And if they feel like it's going to wreck the experience on console, they're going to block this shit. So I thought that was pretty cool. I think that when it comes down to it, it's just going to be another option for gamers. It's going to allow us to play some games that we wouldn't normally be able to play, like some RTSs if it's on PC, or maybe, who knows what's going to be coming over. But what do you guys think about this situation?
Are they blocking official mouse and keyboard support, or are they blocking those XIM third-party things that let people use mouse and keyboard now? They're not supposed to, right?
I'm not 100% clear, but it sounds like it's XIM plus the supported keyboards. So it's like one fell swoop. So once they instituted this support, like Xbox is saying, hey, we're going to support mouse and keyboard, it gave the developers the ability to block access to that. So before,
that's good.
These people were doing it and was just going unnoticed. Like Nick, when we played Overwatch and you had a Widowmaker spin around and blow your head off, and it's a mouse and keyboard, that shit's been happening since as far as I can remember. And it's funny how people just kind of gloss over that, and then they think that once Xbox says, hey, we're giving these devs the ability to implement it, that it's going to just change the way the game's played. People are finding exploits and the way to get advantages over gamers since the dawn of gaming.
Yeah.
So it is what it is. I think it's actually almost a better thing now because it's actually controlled by the developer. So
absolutely. And if they have the ability to actually get those XIM devices out of here because of the announcement that mouse and keyboard is coming, whatever tools they have for that, that's a fantastic thing. Because if the developer doesn't want you using a mouse and keyboard in the game, but someone is, that is undeniably an advantage that without basically cheating, I can't do as well. Like once official support comes and a dev, if they choose to support it, I mean, if you feel you're at a disadvantage, go get a mouse and keyboard and get good at it. Like that's the way it works now with 4K TVs, with headphones, with elite controllers, with the X versus the regular. Like if you want the best and you feel that you're getting stomped on by someone with better, go get the better, I guess. Like if the options are there, as long as you're not cheating, right? I find those XIM third-party stuff, that's not a sanctioned thing. Whereas official support is, and if these devs want to use it, they can. If they don't, they don't. And it seems like they're going through with that. It's good.
True. It's options. #options in the chat. Next topic here: PlayStation exploits lets people brick your console via a message. I talked about this before. How crazy this sounds. Imagine getting your new iPhone X, right? You take it home, take it out of the box, shiny, got a gold case on it. You're happy. Get a message, boom, it goes to your inbox, you look at it, your phone, it gets bricked, right? How stupid does that sound, right? It sounds pretty dumb. This is the situation that was happening on PlayStation, and
did you hear what they did? So apparently they fixed it, right? So they fixed the exploit, whatever. Oh, don't worry, it's all fixed under control. And as soon as they fixed it, PSN went down.
I mean, the infrastructure.
It's hilarious that happened. Like, hey, don't worry, we fixed the issue. Oh, here comes another one.
I mean, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to understand that the infrastructure when it comes to Sony and PlayStation is dog shit. I mean, the infrastructure was ill planned, not thought out, not planned out. You're talking about charging for this generation or trying to upgrade the systems in place and it just seems like the foundation's a bunch of bullshit. You know what I'm saying? You talk about ID changes, right? They finally implement that, but it's tied to the gamer tag, and then you're gonna lose all your progress. It's just like, it's ill prepared, ill planned. You know, it's not planned out. The infrastructure is complete garbage, and I'm just coming at this from an outside perspective. It's like, once you start adding these things up, it starts stacking up, right? Like, you could have a couple things start to go on, you can kind of overlook them, but once PlayStation Network's always consistently going down, it's getting hacked, information's getting stolen, the inability to change gamer tags, messages bricking consoles, like, it's starting to look a little, I don't know, kind of.
I'll say it, it's shady. God damn it,
yeah,
it is
shady. Yeah.
Shady.
What do you guys think?
Imagine, it's like, imagine this scenario, all right, everyone. It's like diffusing a bomb, right? And like, we're like, me and Punk are like the IT guys over there at PlayStation. We're like, all right, we got this message, and it's bricking consoles. We got to get rid of it, right? We got to diffuse this thing. And it's like, Punk is just like, okay, I'm gonna open it up real quick. It's like, no, and the whole PlayStation Network. I can imagine something like that happening to these clowns, because that's what they are, clowns. Like, this is some 1990s AOL crap going on right here. Like, am I wrong,
AOL.
everybody? Anybody? Am I wrong?
That's true.
God
Like,
damn. Yeah.
This is
You
the
got
worst.
hamster
Never heard
wheels
in a
with
while.
hamsters spinning around for their fucking
Jesus Christ.
security, dude. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the way it sounds. So,
I was like, where is all the subscription money gone that they've collected this gen, man? It was free last
it makes
gen.
you
Now
wonder,
they're
right?
paying this gen, and it's the same experience or worse. I don't know what to say, man. It's bad.
it's tough, man. It
not
is
good.
what it is, dude. And I know I'll get a lot of hate in the comment section, a lot of thumbs down. You're just a hater. You're just hating on PlayStation. It's like, look, nobody else is really talking about this shit, because obviously they're the market leader. So, you know, it's not the juicy story. It's not the story that's going to get you clicks, blah, 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 right? But the proof's in the pudding. I want to get a PlayStation. I am a gamer. I don't want to get my shit bricked. I know it's probably not going to happen now. I would be fucking pissed. What if I just bought my PlayStation and I get my shit bricked? I would be fucking livid. And then we're talking about, you know, information getting stolen and all this shit, man. It's just...
Can you imagine all the non-hardcore people that are just like little Timmy? He goes to his grandma, my PlayStation 4 isn't working. I don't know why. And she's like, okay, Timmy. She runs to Meijer or wherever the old store she goes to, and then buys another one. It's like, well, there, PlayStation's got NPD for another couple months.
Yeah, it's like all those people that got brick consoles buy another one. Hey, NPD numbers are in.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. It is
How many
what
of
it
them
is.
work? Dude, I haven't even turned mine on. That's the funny thing. Like, I'm
Yeah.
honestly afraid to turn it on to even fucking look at it. I'm like, yeah, I'll just wait until.
I mean,
No, I'm gonna like hit an update and it's just gonna like.
Oh, it's fixed.
off,
It's fixed
like-
now. It's fixed now,
Nah,
Punk.
nah,
Don't
nah.
worry.
Dude, it's
Now
always
PSN's
quote
down.
unquote fixed.
Punk's like, I don't
really
trust
shit.
it. He's like that old man. I don't trust it.
I don't trust.
Man, I
this
still gotta
service,
play
don't turn
Spider-Man,
it
and
on.
now I might not ever get to play the damn game if I turn this motherfucker on. I'm gonna have to wait a year or something.
That's the way to protect your stuff, folks. Just
That's
don't
right.
turn
Never
it
use
on.
it.
Don't use it.
Never use it.
Keep it in the box. All right, we'll go on to the last topic, and then we'll get the fuck out of here. The Coalition say they needed to prove themselves and make a traditional Gears of War game before they could do anything crazy. So with Gears of War 4, we knew it was kind of safe. It was a great game, one of my favorites this generation. But the Coalition is very talented. The fact that they were able to get, you know, the way that game looked running on the base Xbox One, the fatty version that sucked, didn't have that much power. The way that game looked, the way the story was, it had some issues in the beginning with pacing and stuff, but they were kind of playing it safe. I think the Coalition's one of the best developers out there. I don't think that they get the credit that they need. I think they're going to blow panties off, like I said, with Gears of War 5. They're going to push the limits and the boundaries. We saw some of that with the trailers that were out there with E3. Some of the enemy types, the way the game looked, the character they're going with, the story, it just looks phenomenal. I think it's going to be one of the best games of 2019. I want to see him push the limits as much as possible, honestly. I feel like Gears of War could actually surpass Halo. I know I sound crazy, but I feel like Gears of War could actually surpass Halo in popularity with Xbox if they do it right. If they push this franchise forward the way that they can, if they use it to the best ability with the Coalition, I think it could just be one of the pillars moving forward. What do you guys think? Do you think Gears 5 is going to be awesome? Do you think they're going to be doing some crazy shit? Maybe 4-player co-op? That'd be cool. I don't know.
It needs
Probably
that
not gonna
co-op,
happen.
man. It needs that co-op bad. They can go all out, go crazy in every aspect. I don't care. But if I can't play co-op campaign,
Yep.
I'll be pissed. Even if, my God, it has to break canon and just make 2 Kates walking around through the game or 4. Like, I don't care. I had no problem playing as multiple chiefs in Halo 1 at all. I didn't care. I just wanted to play with my buddies. Don't let the canon of a game or the lore of a game get in the way of the fun factor of co-op. I think almost every game should have the option of having co-op. If you don't want to play it that way, don't.
Yeah.
But for those that do, man, and that enjoy that type of play, co-op's amazing, and they better not take it out of Gears of War, or I'll be very disappointed. And like, I'm sure I'll still play it. I love Gears. I've read all the books, but man, that co-op important for Shady.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. That's the only reason I even buy it. I've talked about it on previous podcasts. I mean, if the co-op's not there, like you said, you would play it, but I mean, I have no interest with that game for playing online. You know, I play Call of Duty for online. I play Gears for story, and that co-op with your friends. It's virtually probably the best co-op last generation and this. I love it.
Phenomenal.
It is.
It's awesome. Anybody else? Any thoughts before?
I take it you don't throw Destiny into that mix punk.
No, I mean it's different. I feel like that's a different type of co-op, but because I mean, it's like you're running through the same missions over and over again. Where Gears, you're gonna go with the co-op and go through like a real legit story. You know what I'm saying? It just feels different. There's a different feel there.
Co-op is what makes Destiny for me big time. Like, I really enjoy the game. It plays great. Visually, it's good. It's tight. But when I play with my brother or some buddies, man, we're in there, I love it. It just feels good when I'm kicking some ass and all of a sudden my bro comes in from the left with his super, rips these guys apart. I've loved cooperative since way back on PC with the original Doom, linking up my dad's laptop to our home tower and playing 2 together. It just blew my mind. Like, oh my God, over a video game, we're in the same world playing together. And it was fantastic. And I've been addicted to that mode ever since. It's my favorite.
A co-op began on the couch. Just remember that.
Yeah. Other things began on the couch too. Nick, any comments before we get out of here?
Nah, not a big Gears.
All right. So I'm not accused of clickbaiting. There's a topic that I didn't address here. What was it? Fucking one of the games is coming out at XO. It might come out, might not. Anyway, that's that topic. So you guys can't say that I didn't address it. So all right, we'll get to the outros. That was
There was a game. There was a game. There had been a game.
Some kind of a game was rumored to come. Yeah. So. Phenomenal
That's
episode.
hilarious.
Phenomenal, man. Awesome. Shady, you're awesome, dude. I appreciate you coming on. We had a blast. You clicked. The flow was good. I love the fact that it's no bullshit with you, man. That's how we do it here on T.S.G.P. We kind of tell it how it is, and if people get triggered, that's okay. We just want to tell it how it is, and I appreciate that. I appreciate you coming on, taking your time. I know you're a busy man. You got a lot of shit lined up this week. Tell people where they could find you.
Well, if they want to hear a little bit more associated, they can find me tomorrow morning, actually, 10 a.m. Eastern. I will be doing Breakfast with Boom on Mr. Boomstick XL's YouTube channel. I'm looking forward to that. That does mean I can't be up all night gaming tonight, unfortunately, but hey, what are you going to do? Other than that, I am So Shady at The Sesh Empire, one word on Twitter, or just So Shady on Xbox, man. Hit me up. We might play some games sometime. Give me a reason to, stand out. I get a lot of people following me, and I don't know who they are. So introduce yourself and let me know what type of gamer you are, and maybe we'll play sometime.
Yeah, it's not because people are trying to be assholes. You honestly don't know who people are sometimes. They add you. So if you send a good message, it goes a long ways, and you could become friends with people. I've met people through the comment section that I didn't know from fucking, Adam, and then now we're friends, right? Like I said, I'm friends with people over in Australia. We play games and all that other good stuff. We're all about the community here, and we'll try to, interact as much as humanly possible. So
I love it. I just want to say thank you so much for having me, man. You guys were a totally receptive crew of guys. I've been watching you for a long time. I love it. I love the chat. I look forward to hopefully coming back again, man. And yeah, thank you.
And 420, blaze it. You know what I'm saying? All right, next up, we got Titan Drago. Where can people find you?
Oh, you can find me at everything at Titan Drago, and after the show tonight, I'll definitely be partaking in the Saltiest Gaming Night after the show. So this will be the third week in a row we do this, where we all jump on Xbox and try and hook up with you guys in the community and play some good games. And while you're at it, while you're adding me on, Xbox Live at Titan Drago, maybe you can also sub to my YouTube channel because I could use it. Anyways, that's where I'll be, and that's where I'm always bringing the common back to sense.
Yep. I have all the information for all these guys, these beautiful bastards, in the description. So make sure you check out their information. Twitter, YouTube, Grindr profiles. It's all there. Make sure you check it out. Next up, we got Punkittish Gaming. Where can people find you?
You can find me on Xbox Punkittish and obviously on here, Punkittish Gaming. Shout out to So Shady, dude. Believe it or not, like when I first started getting in this community and shit, just being the guy in the chats and whatnot, I think I wound up playing Titan with like Jaco and Noof, I think, way back in the day, dude. Like,
yeah, so, yep.
Yeah, so it's kind of fun to show people how far you can kind of go. I'm not saying like we're like special people, but just you're the guy in the chat, and next thing you know, you're on a podcast. Like it's a wild ride, man. I've enjoyed it all. So it's sweet to be on here with you, man. Appreciate it.
Yep.
Thank you.
Sure. Nick Nintendo Direct. Where can people find you?
Man, you can find me youtube.com/Nintendo Direct. And yeah, man, I'm just doing the daily news show, daily stuff where we, I try to make it more like a radio show kind of type deal, where I do that. And like I said, we do different segments. You were on there today talking about that. And I do my live streams, like when I play games on Twitch. You can follow me there. If you go to my channel, you'll see the link there, all that good stuff. And yeah, that's pretty much it, man. I appreciate it. Once again, it was another good podcast. Shady, you were legit. Like everybody said, brought it the heat, and it was awesome. So
I appreciate that.
Hey, we got a new sub there. Thanks for subbing. So that's gonna do it for the episode here. I got an announcement to make about Mr. Boomstick. Actually, we're collabing behind the scenes. We're gonna have a show be coming out on Wednesdays at noon Eastern. It's gonna be a news show with me and him. It's gonna rotate from his channel to my channel. It's gonna be I think it's gonna be every other week. So he'll have it on his channel, have it on my channel. We'll both be there. It's gonna be called Gaming News at Noon with Salty and Boom. I think I might have fucked that name up. I don't know. So that might be the name. It might not be, but it doesn't matter. The content will still be there. So it'll be about an hour show, I think, give or take. So it should be interesting. I look forward to collabing with him on a weekly basis. He's a good dude. Breakfast with Boom tomorrow on his channel. Check it out. I don't know what episode this is, so fuck it. That's going to do it for the Saltiest Gaming podcast.
57.
Like, comment, subscribe, and as always, stay salty, my friends.